mentioned that one of the solutions is fundraising operations in the future to try and raise more financial aid. For financial aid, yeah. I'm also thinking about the budget cuts that have affected our departments that deans and that department heads are dealing with, to which one solution was hiring outside help, external reviews, to figure out where can we save money in our departments. I want to know why the administration's policy is to inflict the pain of the budget cuts and the fee hikes on their departments, on their faculty, staff, and students first, then pay extra money to run these fundraising campaigns and bring in external review systems as possible future solutions.
So our goal in the Operation Excellence, and maybe Frank will want to talk about that, is to save tens of millions of dollars a year. And we made the judgment that in order to save those large amounts of money, we had to make, on that scale, a relatively minor investment up front. So we made the decision to make a minor investment up front with the expectation that we will save much larger amounts of money later, which will go very directly to the departments. And so it's a standard process to make investments initially in order to save money in the long run in order to support our enterprise.
I would add to that for every dime you spend on fundraising, you raise $1. And that's a pretty good investment.
A follow-up point to that, I forgot to mention first, an additional problem with this is why when the unions on campus and the academic senate are already proposing solutions for these problems, why the administration still needs to go out and bring in
What was the end of your sentence?
Why the administration still reaches to the external review process for solutions when their faculty and their students and their unions are offering solutions already. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we work intimately with the Academic Senate, who have not offered any solution to this, and actually the Academic Senate was involved intimately in the creation of this in the first place. The head of the Academic Senate has been strongly supportive. So the Academic Senate has indeed been part of this process all along, and there's now also student representation, both graduate and undergraduate student representation in the process.
The faculty walkout in September would seem to contradict the point of view that the Academic Senate felt that they were included in the decision-making process.
I'm not here to demonize anybody, but I am here to demand leadership, which is why you guys are sitting up there. And my name is Ramon Quintero. I'm a transfer student. I'm a single. That's right. And I'm also a single parent that used to live at the UC Village, but unfortunately, because the crisis of priorities of this leadership, now living in an RV on Cedar Road. So the first thing I want to say is why? Why are you not more vocal in defending academics in this state, Chancellor? Second, why does our football coach earn more than any other public employee? Why do you increase rent, tuition, and decrease the quality of education of this institution? Lastly, where is your strategy when you are paying the coach millions and increasing fees on the poor students on this campus?
We can all have a shot at that. So first of all, in terms of leadership, as you may or may not know, as I said, I was already on national television for undocumented students. I was also, towards the end of the summer, also on national television about the crisis of universities in California. I've been one of the more outspoken persons trying to address these issues, maybe I could have provided better leadership. I don't know. We're doing our best, and I haven't seen anybody else out there doing any better. Not to say we can't do better. We could, but I'm not. If you can point out to me role models that I could emulate who are playing a stronger role, then I'll happily try to follow them. In terms of your personal situation, I have to know more details on. I think that's terrible if you end up having to be living in an RV. The coach. Where do you live? Coach. So in terms of the coach's salary, it's true. So, someone once said to me, how come the coach gets paid, whatever it is, and, you get paid like a sixth? And I said, well, people get paid what they're worth. But in fact, my salary gets paid for out of, the regular operating budget gets paid by the state. The coach's salary gets paid for out of donations from alumni who are football fanatics. And so it's a completely different source. Unfortunately, it's not fungible, so it's not possible to take these donations that pay the coach's salary and move them over into another domain. On the other hand, it's also true for those of you who have looked at the situation for intercollegiate athletics that the football program, and to a lesser extent men's basketball, is tremendously profitable and actually supports many other sports which otherwise we wouldn't be able to have on the campus. And in particular, plays a role in us being able to satisfy the legal requirements of Title IX and support things like our women's swimming team, which won the national championship. So the financing of intercollegiate athletics are complicated, but it's explicitly, if we did not have intercollegiate football and basketball, then we wouldn't have an intercollegiate athletics program, including the 17 medals that our students and alumni won in the Olympics last summer, which we're all extremely proud of. And I think I forgot the last two questions.
Well, that's good enough, and I thank you for your answer. I think you're an honest person. I don't think you're lying, but the fact of the matter is that tonight I'm gonna have to go live on the street because the priorities of this institution are not towards the students that need it the most. Thank you.
Purely political one. I see privatization, student fees, and everything we find distasteful about our university right now a direct result of state divestment from public education. And so I'm here to ask you, as leaders, why you're not doing more, not only to advocate for more of the pie from Sacramento, but to help fix the disease that has made education a private investment and return it to it being a public investment. Why aren't you guys as leaders helping all of us get together and vote on things like Professor Lakoff's initiative that would strike the 2/3 provisions for both the budget and tax increases? Why can't you guys as our leaders on this campus advocate in a political fashion for not just money, but for political reform that is so necessary in a degraded public policy landscape of California? Thank you.
I agree.
We agree, and as I explained earlier, my own belief is that in the long term, based not just on the situation in California, but the situation nationally, is that this is a national crisis, not just a California crisis, and that we've seen a progressive disinvestment in public universities across the country. Many are much further advanced in terms of quote-unquote privatization than we are here at Berkeley, and that's exactly the reason why Frank Geary and I here are currently making huge investments in doing straight politics in Washington in order to try and create a new model for the sort of support of public education and return us to a fully public model.